Since I'm unsure if I'm ever going to go back to St Clair Square again or not, is now without Sears or Payless to bring me in, this mall's pretty much not meaningful to me anymore. So I'm going to do a walkthrough here before the mall's open. And one thing about this place right here is this used to be J Buck's. I'll talk a little bit more about J Buck's when we get inside. Because right here used to be Past Pets. That was a pet store where people could go to and check out the dogs and the fish and the cats. But J Buck's was a sports restaurant that was owned by Jack, Julie, and Joe Buck. And they were basically sports announcers that are big in St. Louis, and so they're able to start their own restaurant. But coming back over here, we have what used to be the St. Louis Bread Company. That was Panera Bread outside the St. Louis region. And here's where the former Sears is. You can see quite a few businesses are still existing in this mall. But with Payless leaving and Sears leaving, and they are very close to each other, as you can see. There's Payless and then there's Sears. The fact that I have no real reason to go to this mall anymore. So let me go to Center Court because there's something I want to talk about here. And that's when this mall first opened and it had the 70s design. In Center Court, they used to have a great big fountain. That fountain used to shoot up sky high. It'd easily go over a story high. Then it would run back down and flow into a little waterfall type deal. And then collect into a reflecting pool. There'd be palm trees on either side of it. And it was a sunken area of the typical 70s design. So what would happen is that you would come down the escalator here and you'd get a very beautiful aesthetic. But look at it now. It's complete empty floor space. Used to be right here. There'd be a sunken area with the fountain right here. It would flow down and collect into a reflecting pool right there in front of JCPenney. And without the aesthetics here, this is not a very attractive mall in my opinion. So let's head down to the first floor here, Sears. And what was interesting was right outside of Sears was Radioshack. And it was right here to the left. As you can see, it's still abandoned. As this was the Sears, and there was the Radioshack. I spent many times going to this. This Radioshack is long gone. I should note that none of these stores are open yet because it's 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. But down this aisle here, right here, there used to be an arcade called Aladdin's Castle. Some videos on YouTube exist of Aladdin's Castle, and we had one right there. It was the best arcade I ever went to. And coming out here, this is where their huge fountain and reflecting pool used to be. Used to go across level ground. Then approximately right near this post, probably right around here, you would step down. There'd be that sunken area. You'd have to cross over the water, and there'd be a big reflecting pool right there, right in front of the JCPenney. And then over there would be that great big fountain shooting up about as high as the ceiling. And come down this wing, which originally was Famous Bar. The Famous Bar got bought by Macy's. But come down over here, because this H&M is massively expanding. But right about close between these two posts is where KB Toys used to be. KB Toys was right around here-ish. As it used to be right outside Famous Bar. So it was right around here. It's hard to see because of this H&M huge wall. And V-Stack is a joke. We're not gonna go to them anymore. So let me come down over here. There's something else that I wanted to show about this is some of these other stores that have survived the quote-unquote retail apocalypse. As you can see, they're all still in St Clair Square. The Build-A-Bear is doing very, very well. And it's moved over here. And here's how you know you're in the St. Louis region. Because we have a Cardinals store for the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team. Now I want to show this over here. Because originally, before we had the food court, this Victoria's Secret right here, this used to be Hardee's. It had two entrances. One was right here, and another was around the corner. This would go right to their dining room. Then around the corner over here that we're coming up to, that entrance came right out to, not quite to where their counter was for ordering. But it was over there. That's where the Hardee's was. Then we come down here to the Dillards Wing. This originally was built in the late 70s as Stixbury and Fuller. And down here, we actually had another fountain that was a little smaller than the center court one. But it was still quite aesthetic, because it didn't quite shoot up as high, but it still was a nice relaxing area to be. Because Dillard's originally opened to Stixbury and Fuller, and then Dillard's bought out Stix in the mid-80s. There used to be Olga's Kitchen there, right in front of Dillard's, or Stix. And then right around these stairs, this used to be where Babbage's was, then it became GameStop, then it was taken by the shoe store. Right here is where their second fountain was, right outside of Olga's Kitchen. The smaller fountain didn't shoot up quite as high. Just really a thing to look at, toss coins into. Alright, let's head upstairs. Because they first renovated this mall in the early 90s. And one of the things that they did was they took out that Hardee's there and they gave it a new spot here in this newly renovated area. That was the new food court. It's right here. This is an 8-bay food court. And Hardee's here was on the corner where the cheesesteak world is, the Philly cheesesteaks. That's where Hardee's was. As you can see, Hardee's is long gone now. But this was the new expansion. This used to be all stores. Then it was renovated into a huge food court. They also added the elevator in the early 90s. Come down here. Come back to Penny's over here. Now this is the East Court. This is where the Hardee's used to be, not the center court. So Penny's had two mall entrances. This one and the center court one. And that pink there, that's originally where Build-A-Bear was. But they decided to go to a kiosk because they said they could get more foot traffic that way. So as you can see, there's quite a few stores still in this mall. A lot of the stores that are closing, bigger stores, are taking their space to expand. That's one of the things that goes on with malls, especially successful malls. Supposedly, there's a plan for that Sears to make into an entertainment complex. So they'll probably be breaking that up to put in more stores. But again, there's no reason for me to really go back here, because nothing here really attracts me. There's no more KB Toys, no more Babbage's or GameStop, no more Sears, no more Payless. We come back here to the center court. Here's the other entrance for Penny's. They also had put in different railing, because this used to be wood railing back in the 70s and 80s. But down there, that was where the reflecting pole was. They did make this mall a lot lighter and brighter with their remodels. Made it look more modern, I guess. But I'm not a millennial, so it doesn't really appeal to me. Maybe it does to them, I don't know. But to me, this mall seems really stale. Morally sterile would probably be a better word for it. This seems like a place to go for stores, no aesthetics anymore. It seems rather bland, I guess is a good word for it. No more pass pets. Alright. So I'm coming back out to the entrance for St Clair Square. So if you've watched the full 12 minutes, alright, thanks for watching.